My name is Heather, and you can find me on Twitter at Justified2020. I do not normally create content. However, if I see that some information isn't out there and I notice something, I feel like the information is important to get out. So I'm doing my best. Normally, I just do research and that's my thing. And I help people, with the information. So I just wanted to introduce myself and go over this article that caught my attention. This was an article that, let's see, it was posted December 1st, 2017 at 1:26 p.m. and updated that same day at 1:48 p.m. So the title is Former DCF Spokesman Charged in Child Porn Case. So I'm going to read it to you because this caught my eye. And I will let you know where that led. So Thomas William Barnes told police the content included depictions of sexual intercourse with children as young as 6. That's a highlighted text of this article. A former employee for the Florida Department of Children and Families who is accused of sending an obscene photo involving a juvenile was arrested Thursday after Yahoo alerted authorities to the photo. Thomas William Barnes, 67, of 3500 Northwest 38th Street, was charged with possession of sexual performance by a child and promoting a photo of a sexual performance by a child, according to a Gainesville Police Department arrest report. In August, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received a report from Yahoo that a user, later identified as Barnes, sent a graphic photo of a man and a girl, the report said. Police got a search warrant and reportedly found child pornography on Barnes's computer. The report said the computer contained multiple folders of child pornography that were hidden as subfolders in seemingly innocuous folders. One file titled, quote, "Too Much," end quote, had at least 55 images. The content included depictions of sexual intercourse with children as young as 6, Barnes reportedly told police. GPD spokesman Ben Tobias and Barnes likely faces additional charges because of the multiple pictures. Among Barnes's duties with DCF was acting as the agency's spokesman. He was in the Alachua County Jail Friday, bond set at $150,000. So I thought, when I see something like this, I want to go read, if anything's out there, what this person did in that position. I want to see if there's, news articles that talk about him, in the past, something that's stamped, in time and documented. So there was that article, right? And then, like I said, just shortly after that article on December 4th, this one was posted. Former DCF official faces more child porn charges. And I want to read it to you. This one was posted December 4th and updated December 5th, 2017. A former Florida Department of Children and Family spokesman arrested last week on child pornography charges now faces additional charges according to court records. Thomas William Barnes, 67, of 3500 Northwest 38th Street on Thursday, was charged with 1 count of possession of obscene material involving sexual performance by a child and 1 count of promoting a photo of a sexual performance by a child, according to a Gainesville Police Department arrest report. 10 more charges, all third-degree felonies, were filed against Barnes Monday related to possession of obscene material. In August, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received a report from Yahoo that a user later identified as Barnes sent a graphic photo of a man and a girl. The original arrest report said, police got a search warrant and reportedly found child pornography on Barnes' computer. The report said the computer contained multiple folders of child pornography that were hidden as subfolders in seemingly innocuous folders. One file, titled, quote, too much, unquote, had at least 55 images. The content included depictions of sexual intercourse with children as young as 6, police say Barnes told them. Barnes remained in the Alachua County Jail as of Monday, his bond set at $150,000. So, okay. So I wanted to look into this man, especially since he held such a position of trust for so long. And sure enough, these are just some of the articles that I found. I'm still trying to nail down a very beginning and a very end, time frame with his time at DCF. I don't know, the end date of his employment yet or the beginning date, but I just felt it was necessary to show just some of the things that he was dealing with during the time he was there. So here's one. Firefighter in abuse case. Associated Press. I'm trying to figure out how to make this closer so that you can see it. And I'll put the links here for you anyway in the description. Okay, so no, not the firefighter one, but that's interesting too. This one's titled Ex-Scoutmaster Charged with Rape. And this was from, I have the date, but I don't want to get out of the screen to put it there right now. But this is, well, let me go there. Let's see, bring up that one. Okay, it's gonna be in here. Okay, yeah, this one's from Florida Today, from September 15th, 2003. Ex-Scoutmaster charged with rape. Gainesville. A former Scoutmaster with the Boy Scouts of America, who also worked for the state's Child Welfare Agency, was arrested on charges of raping a boy in his troop. Hugh Eric Self, 35, was charged with sexually abusing the child, now 12, several times between November 2002 and July of this year. Alachua County Sheriff Sergeant Keith Falk said, Self was being held in the Alachua County Jail without bond on Saturday, the day after his arrest. According to the arrest report, Self met the boy when the boy was 8 through scouting events and later had him in his scout troop. The child told authorities he didn't report the abuse earlier because Self had threatened him and he was afraid Self would kidnap him. Self recently quit as Scoutmaster and will be suspended from the organization, said John Reeser, Scout executive for the North Florida Council. Boy Scouts are educated about sexual abuse issues when being oriented into the group, Reeser said. There are also policies to prevent abuse, such as having 2 adults present at scouting activities and having children sleep in tents with other children, he said. Self is employed by the Department of Children and Families as a public assistance caseworker, said Tom Barnes, Alachua County DCF spokesman. Self didn't work with children, but DCF officials moved him to the personnel office at I think it's Takakali, is the institution they're talking about, when they learned of the sheriff's investigations, Barnes said. So that's one, all right? And the next one is an article from okay, I think this is okay. This is from the Pensecola News Journal, October 2nd, 1998. And the headline here, I don't think it's a headline, let me correct that. I think it's an article within the newspaper, which is cited by, or, listed as the Associated Press. But anyway, it says, daycare closed after 3 children suffer broken arms. Associated Press, Gainesville. A daycare operating out of a woman's home was shut down after 3 toddlers were found with what investigators said were deliberately broken arms. The children, 11 months, 12 months, and 13 months old, each had both arms broken. Police said Thursday they would charge the owner of the daycare center, Beverly Barnes, 32, with neglect and child abuse. She was not arrested immediately. These injuries are not accidental in nature, police said Wednesday in the court papers used to close down the Bonding Babies Daycare Center, which operated in a working-class neighborhood out of a cream-colored concrete block home with burglar bars on the front door and windows. Bonding Babies cared for 10 youngsters, including Bonds' 2 children. So I couldn't, this article was really long, so I couldn't, I have it, but I couldn't put it in a easy package for you to see. So, but, this here is a quote from Tom Barnes, who was the spokesman at the time for Department of Children and Families. And the quote that they put off to the right side of the article says, from him, when a number of different children show up with similar injuries, then we have to take a look at what they have in common. And if it's I think they meant to write, and if it's a daycare center, that sends up every imaginable red flag. And it's Tom Barnes, spokesman, Department of Children and Families. So I do, agree with him here to a certain extent. I'm not familiar 100% with the individual case that they are talking about in this article. But that quote there is very powerful from him, because that's exactly how I'm feeling when I'm seeing these cases, the patterns that, and it's not the people, it's these people that are making these quotes, like Tom Barnes. Okay, that's what it is with me. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm seeing the same thing within the DCF employees. They protect each other. Okay, so I'm just still showing you examples of the articles. Okay, I just wanted to see the stuff that surrounded this guy. All right, so here's the next article. Nursing home blames DCF in rape. Okay, and this one is from November 26, 2004. Nursing home blames DCF in rape. So it says a nursing home where an 83-year-old repeat sex offender was charged with raping a 77-year-old resident is blaming the State Department of Children and Families for saying the man was not a threat. The rape victim's family members are suing Southwood Nursing Center, alleging they should have been notified that convicted sex offender Ivy Edwards was living there. Southwood's lawyers asked a judge Monday to allow them to bring DCF in as a third party to the lawsuit. It notified the department of its intent to do so a requirement of Florida law. DCF spokesman Tom Barnes said he couldn't talk about the Edwards case, but he said the department doesn't do criminal background checks on elderly clients unless it thinks the person might engage in felonious behavior. Okay? So just to give you a background on this guy. This one right here, man left in hot whirlpool dies. Okay? And this one here reminds me, like, now when I look at Tom Barnes, I think of like Jimmy Savile. That's just after this article. So this man left in hot whirlpool dies is an article from April 22nd, 1998. Okay. Gainesville, a 79-year-old resident of a home for the mentally disabled has died after being burned in a whirlpool. William Devers had been in critical condition since April 4th when he was scalded during his regular therapeutic bath at Takakali, or Takachal, I don't know if I'm saying that right. He died early Monday at Shands Hospital at the University of Florida. Remember that. At the University of Florida. Devers had been left in the 130-degree water for 14 minutes, according to Tom Barnes, a spokesman for the Florida Department of Children and Families, District 3. Excuse me. Although Devers's burns were not severe, the trauma of being left in the hot water caused him to suffer from respiratory problems, low blood pressure, and impaired kidney function, Barnes said. Officials believe the whirlpool was so hot because a valve malfunctioned. The water normally ranges between 1 and 110 degrees. Okay, that's the end of that article. All right, now let's get to the University of Florida. So I decided to look into this man's relations. You know, who is he? Then I found out that his wife, and this is a matter of public record, anybody can look it up. It's, you know, it's not hard to find that his wife is Marilyn McKim Barnes, or Marilyn M. Barnes, who just so happens to have an NPI number, and she is a physician's assistant with, you know, specializing in pediatrics. So I found that, and like I said, I'll put the links here. So it's definitely her. And like I said, you know, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this is his wife. Okay. You can find it in public records. All right. I already found it and stuff. All right. So let's look up her name, Barnes. Okay, here, and you can do this on the Department of Health website, Florida Department of Health. All right, this is all public information. Anybody can go look it up and verify it. So I just hit search, and then let's find her here. Oh, yeah, I think she's just here. Here she is. Here we go. Barnes, Marilyn McKim. Advanced Registered Nurse Practitioner, Gainesville, Alachua, 32608, clear, active. Her license status is clear and active. And you can see here that she, right here. Let's see. I wanted you to see when her, here probably. All right, you can see here that she is active current. Her license was originally issued August 1st, 1974, and her expiration is April 30th, 2019. So she's, you know, she's active, right? Now, when you go here, you can see she's got all of these glorious awards and everything, and education and training, and okay, pediatrics, and she's been doing it, a while. University of Florida, right here. Academic appointments. Okay, Gainesville. American Nurses Credentialing Center, certification, pediatric nurse practitioner. Let's see, this one here, optional information. So she provided this because, PR. Certificate of Recognition, 2000, American Professional Society on the Abuse of Children. So she's like been all up in this topic for a long time. Okay, and they were married. I can't remember the date. I found that they were married, the exact date, but it was way back. Probably have it here in my notes. But either way, it was way back. Okay. So, also she has publications. Child Abuse Histories is the title of one of them. Patient Care for the Nurse Practitioner. Date, November 2nd, 2000. Okay, so, and then there's this. Now, this, where it says ARNP protocols. I was like, this must be a pretty important document, because they have to update it very frequently. So I went to the last one, the current one, practice protocols. Nurse Practice Act, Florida Statutes, Chapter 464. It goes on and on. And you can see here everything she lists. And she is under the supervision of Cameron Rosenthal, MD, Clinical Assistant Professor, University of Florida Department of Pediatrics Child Protection Team. Okay? And she's a very important person in when you're dealing with child abuse. You better have a 100% honest, God-fearing person in that position. Okay? One that would not misuse their position. Okay? Now, being associated with him, it's a big deal with what they found on his computer. And the length of time that they've been married, how could she have not known, is all I'm saying. Okay? Maybe this is just my opinion, okay? This part. But the facts are, this is his wife. So run with it, do whatever you got to do. I just want the information to get out there because I feel like it's necessary. Okay, so this is everything here that her duties and everything. The ARNP shall obtain and record health and social histories, complete physical assessments, including genital examinations, photograph clients for documentation, and for review with other members of the child protection team. Provide brief counseling to the child and or family as needed. Provide anticipatory guidance and health education to children and families as indicated. Order diagnostic tests. Okay. Diagnose common health problems, prescribe treatments and pharmacological agents within the scope of the Nurse Practice Act. Initiate referrals. Generate reports for use in both civil and criminal court. Provide expert testimony involving children evaluated for civil or criminal cases. Attend local and national conferences. Participate in CPT research. Attend client staffings. Supervise house staff and healthcare students during CPT rotation. Develop and implement educational programs for health professionals and others in the field of child abuse/neglect, and promote the goals of the child protection team. The ARNP shall act as liaison and consultant to referring and auxiliary agencies. So that is a pretty important person. in this field, and to have her, I don't know, it means that she was, while he was dealing with all of these things back here, she was a doctor. She was a doctor at that hospital. Okay, so yeah, and I really think it's really sad, actually, that there's no mention of that here in this article at all. That would be a big deal, since she's currently in that position, because I don't believe for a second that all that's going on here is possessing child pornography. I don't believe that for a second. I feel like they want to keep the focus on this. They want us to keep just focusing on this here. Just that he was a former DCF spokesman. Yeah, okay. But I think there's a bigger story here. Gainesville.com. I think the bigger story is, and people deserve to hear more about, is that this man is married to a person who has a lot of power and pull. And I don't think it's a mistake that that he wanted to be near her, or that he wanted, maybe they were even working, who knows. Investigative journalism is what we need, and I shouldn't have to be the one that tells this part of the story. It should have been included here for the people, okay? And it wasn't. Not even here. I mean, they even updated it, like here. And there's nothing on the 4th, okay? It's like, never mind the fact his wife, works for the state, okay? Now, what could that do for him? Could it cover up evidence for him? Maybe, right? So anyway, she's got all these things here, and there's a lot of information that I'm not even getting to because I don't want to ramble, but it's here, and everybody can look at it and help if you'd like. I'd appreciate that. So yeah, this woman also is published in the Journal of Child Sexual Abuse. Here is an example, volume 20, 2011. This had to do with sexually transmitted infections. She is listed as an author, as well as this woman, who also has a history in the North before she moved south. But this title is Nucleic Acid Amplification Testing in Suspected Child Sexual Abuse. So, God knows what they've been doing, but, like I said, I just wanted to get this information out. I'm still looking into it myself. So, anything you can offer to help, I greatly appreciate. There's a lot of great minds out there, and we're making a difference. So, thank you so much, and I'm going to give a shout out to my good friends Honeybee and Liberty Columnist. So thank you for encouraging me to do something that I am not usually good at doing, okay? So forgive me. I'm not a content creator, but I'm doing the best I can. Thank you.